The Meade Cultural Education Center is home to the Dakota Territorial Museum. Inside, people of all ages can learn about local history.
The Dakota Territorial Museum, our mission is really the preservation, interpretation, education of the Dakota Territory. And so what that covers is all of South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, up until statehood in 1889. And then we kind of reduce our geographic focus to just Yankton County and the Missouri River Valley.
But this building has a long history of its own.
The Meade building was built in 1909. It was part of a series of about 11 historic structures that were built at that time. They were all built fairly similar. They were built under the direction of the hospital superintendent, who was Dr. Leonard C. Meade.
For years, the historic building was home to people struggling with mental illness.
This building was only for the high-functioning female patients. So that just kind of meant that they really didn't need a lot of attention, but they did need to be at the institution. His plan for rehabilitation before medication was available was to surround the patients with something that might give them some kind of a some way to get to their heart, some way to get into them, to their mind.
Nelson says since 1980, the building has sat vacant.
In 2008, the Yankton County Historical Society, which is the organization that owns and operates the museum side, they had met and they had previously toured this facility, the Meade building. It was in a lot of need of repair at the time, but we were looking for a new facility for a museum.
That's when the group decided to pursue the Meade building. In 2010, crews started transforming the building.
There was a lot of work to be done. When we had arrived, there was a lot of cracks in the ceiling. There'd been a lot of water damage.
Finally, in December of 2018, the museum opened to the public. One of the first things you will see walking into the museum is the marble staircase. Then, onto the exhibits.
The museum is split up in a couple different ways. We have the kind of the serious permanent exhibit side of the museum, and we have just the first phase of that exhibit in right now. So there's going to be like 8 phases by the time we're done. So we're going to be adding exhibits annually for probably the next 5 to 10 years.
It's been really exciting. I think a lot of people have shared in the vision. So when they come in here and look around, they have a lot of excitement on their faces, and they're really invested in this project too.
When you come here, this is what you'll see. The permanent exhibit is called Journey Forward.
And what we did was we wanted to take the Lewis and Clark story and not only just tell about our section of it, but we are telling the entire journey story, but we're going beyond that.
It's interactive for the entire family.
They can go around, they can read the exhibit panels. We line them up in a timeline way so that they understand how things developed, but there's also opportunities seek and find cabinets. There's opportunities to do some hands-on.
Opposite of the Journey Forward exhibit is a children's museum.
What we wanted to do is we wanted to create a complete hands-on opportunity for kids. So we call it the Children's Transportation Room. So there's a Mackinac boat, there's a covered wagon with a chuck box, and so they can interact with mom and dad or grandparents.
Since opening in the new location, Nelson says they're getting positive feedback.
I know our opening day we had well over 600 people, and we had a really, really wonderful opening, and we've been pretty consistent since.
It's really an eye-opening experience to the power of perseverance. It's, I think, something that gives the community a lot of confidence in itself and its appeal to visitors.
Now Nelson is looking forward to the future of the museum.
It's going to be a destination museum. It's going to be something you're going to spend hours going through if you really wanted to experience it.
With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Sarah McDonald.